First in Line movie reviews for ordinary people. Tonight we went to see Venom.
Yes, Venom. It's a kind of a retelling of the comic book story about Venom, how he came to be. Generally the comics, I think, tell the story that Eddie Brock becomes Venom, and in this movie, he's a journalist, kind of a hard-hitting, wants to find out, dig up dirt on people, that kind of stuff. Calls people out. He's that kind of journalist. And I don't know that the comics always portrayed him that way, but that's what kind of journalist he is in this. And he's investigating this big corporation. I think it's called the Life Corporation. Anyway, and so he gets all mixed up in that. The Life Corporation is the one that has the symbiotes, and they get them through different means, but he gets the symbiote, doesn't know it. That's the movie. He kind of comes to terms with it and talking to it and doing stuff. It's protecting him because the Life Corporation wants their symbiote back, their merchandise back.
Their product.
Their product back. And it was a good movie. I mean, there was a lot of action. A lot of people have kind of said it's kind of not true to the comic books, which I don't know that it is exactly. I think Spider-Man 3 was more true to the comic books, even though it was a terrible movie.
Right.
But it was more true to the comic books because Venom, was Spider-Man's kind of nemesis kind of thing, but he was Spider-Man, or Peter Parker had the symbiote for a while and all of that. And I don't know that it necessarily, I don't remember if it talked in the comic book so much, like this so much of the duality.
They definitely talked.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, at least in the movie, they talked a lot.
Yeah, but
I mean, it was a whole.
I don't remember if the comics talked like that. But it's been so long, I need to go back and reread some of them. But it was a good movie. I thought it was a lot of action. It seemed to go well. I mean, it seemed to.
It went well. The only piece that I wish they wouldn't have had is the love story was a little too much to me, and I felt like that as it went through, you had all this build up, and then the big bang finale was so short.
Yeah, I guess so.
It just
and I always thought Eddie, they put him in San Francisco or Los Angeles and not in New York, and it was just kind of a weird it wasn't. It was just a different retelling of the story because I always thought Eddie worked for the same newspaper that Parker did, and they didn't like each other, and that was that whole dynamic. And then he was dating either, I can't remember, Mary Jane or Gwen, one of Peter Parker's exes, and that was that whole dynamic. But he's in San Francisco, dating completely different girls. Spider-Man's not in the picture, none of that. And so it's just a little different, but seeing past all that, I mean, it was good. I mean, it was, like I said, a lot of action, and it seemed to flow well. It did.
The action scenes were great. I mean, the fight scenes were pretty amazing. They really did a good job on that. I thought that the computer graphics on it were great.
Yeah.
There wasn't really any problems there. They definitely improved on the character, Venom's look and the way he acts.
I think so. I think they stayed pretty true to how he acted. Again, like I said, I'm not sure if the story was exactly like the comics, but
as the movie goes along and this almost friendship comes to, really they need each other. I mean, neither one can survive without the other almost now. I mean, at a certain point in time, they become truly part of each other. Sometimes I felt like they told you too quickly how you could defeat him, and then they virtually tell you how they're going to destroy each other. I mean, it just kind of is. There were a few things I wish they would have kind of taken a little bit more time with, or at least built upon it. The fight scene at the end was fantastic. They really got in a major battle. I would have loved to have seen that been a little longer.
Yeah.
Because they really, I mean, once they the two primary, I mean, the two main characters or the two symbiotes really meet each other, it's a big fight, but it's really quick.
Yeah, it lasts. Yeah, it's pretty quick.
I mean, there's all this build up to how they meet,
and then it's
just
5 minutes.
Boom, it's over, and you're just sitting there going, "Wow, that was a great fight scene." But I will say this: it leaves you ready for the next one.
Yeah, and then they did that. They had a couple of scenes at the end. One of them was about Spider-Man and the new movie coming out, the Into the Spider-Verse, and then one was, hopefully for Venom 2. So, and it hopefully will introduce Carnage, which is what everybody's thinking, but hopefully that's what'll happen. And but we'll see. About a year, I'm sure, year and a half, and we'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out. I believe the movie did well enough for them to create an next one.
I think that opening weekend did pretty good. So
I think so. So my honest opinion, I give it again a thumbs up, and I think you ought to go see it. It's a movie that I'm willing to see again as well. Mm-hmm. Maybe not full price after the first time, but it's worth full price for the first time to see it.
Yeah, we saw it in IMAX 3D, and it was darn good. I think I jumped out of the way once.
Yeah,
because I mean,
it was good. Yeah. So go see it. Be sure you like or comment at the bottom, and if you have any questions, ask as well. Thanks again, guys. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you next time.